Good Jesus, it is cold. Morning, fellas. Good morning, my fellow humans. How y'all doing? Whew, 29 degrees. Woo, 29 degrees. Whew, I'm cold. But I'm eating a popsicle. I'm eating a popsicle in 29-degree weather. Why do you think I'm eating a popsicle even though it is this cold? Whew, when you're hot inside, popsicles will help to cool you down. Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing this morning? Good to see you all. Good to see you all this morning. I gotta get myself some warmth because it is. Oh no, it is. Because I was wondering why it said 29. It is 16 degrees. 16 degrees. Hmm. I'll talk to you in a minute when I'm done. When I'm done eating this popsicle, then we can converse. All right, that's it. Get the heater on. I put it down on the wrong one. We ain't got nothing in common. Now I've got these problems. Anyway, good morning, guys. Welcome into the live of Trev from Trebessens. And we are going to have a little morning chat this morning. Many things going on in the world. Many things. And one of the things I want to talk about this morning, guys, in the city where you are there ordinances to prevent churches from taking care of the homeless especially during these bone chilling months of winter? I've said it once and I've said it again and again that as humans, we have lost our humanity. We have lost what it means to be human. What it means to be human to us is currently rotting in the graveyard of what we call progressiveness. Believe me, I was reading, y'all know I live in North Carolina, and I was reading an article. From a town called Gastonia in North Carolina. And this city, or the fire marshal, whoever, is threatening to take the pastor of a church to court. Why do you think they are taking the pastor to court? Because the pastor is feeding the homeless people at the church. The people have nowhere to go. Right now, my car is saying 16 degrees. Chances are, in places like Gastonia, it might be even colder. Now, a church that is doing what a church, in my opinion, is supposed to be doing, caring for the community and taking care of the most vulnerable amongst us. Now, the church's hands are being tied by the city because the pastor is being threatened with a lawsuit. The pastor said he was sued before for $200,000 because he fed the poor people. The people had no home. They would come into the church. It's a place where they can find warmth. So they come in out of the cold and they come into the church. Now the city is telling the church that if the church accommodates these people who are homeless, then the church will have to be rezoned. The church will have to be rezoned as a residential property. Mark you, the people them only, most people would sleep in their sleeping bags or sleep outside. Somewhere, if they have no place to go, they would sleep just about anywhere during the summer months. But during the winter months, oh no, you cannot expect to affix your signature to any law that would say another human being must sleep out on a cold sidewalk during these winter months. It seems like these people love statistics. They like to tote statistics around. Do you see, during this winter, they keep announcing, oh, 60 people have died already in this state. 30 people have died already in this state. Oh, and they are all homeless people. It seems like stuff like that rolls off their tongue nicely. It's like it rolls off their tongue better than it would be to say, well, the churches are helping out, and we have 100 people housed at this church, and 20 people housed at that church, and 30 people housed at that church for the winter. We are proud to say that these people have a warm place to lay their heads, and they have food to eat, and they are not out in the cold. What's so hard in crafting that kind of narrative? What is so hard in that? I don't know. But obviously to me, they like the negative statistics. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a city suing a church because the church helping the homeless? So that when I tell you that these that society can be better, but there are people who do not want it to be better, and they are the ones who are holding the whip. Let me tell you something. It's the truth. It is absolutely true. Because there is no way that some people, it can have so much surplus and so much more, while others have absolutely nothing. Now, I don't expect that you say somebody work hard and they have what they have to go ahead and give it to somebody else who has nothing. I don't believe in you just giving somebody something like that. You don't just give somebody something. Of course, they gotta work for it. Of course, they gotta earn it. But what I'm saying is the way society is right now, it is strategically designed to be this way so that we can have people who are miserably poor and the others who are miserably rich can look down on the people who are poor. They can they can craft a narrative that sounds plausible in their heads as to why these people are poor and why they are rich. I think it's an ego thing. It can't be anything else. Because we just cannot come to it. We can't come to grips with it. I would think that the city would be glad that the church is taking care of these homeless people. Because you know what, if you walk on the street, see homeless people, you step over homeless people on the sidewalk. And so I know this are cool, so me cool till look on my finger them. Look there. My finger them change color. I may have the heat on in the car. And my finger them still change color. The steering wheel is so cold. My fingers are freezing. And you want to tell me that you as a human being going to punish a church? Going to punish a church because the church is making the people coming at the church, come get a warm place to lay down, come get some warm food. Oh God, man. That is why I say we might remain humans, but we have lost our humanity. Our humanity is somewhere in the graveyard of progress, graveyard of bureaucracy, somewhere. But our humanity is no longer alive. Because stuff like that shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. I mean, I say, worst in this America here, where they claim America have millions and millions and billions and billions of dollars that they are sending to countries all over the world, claiming to be helping these countries to fight wars that are not going to even benefit, not even going to be benefiting Americans. And yet we have people who are veterans. You know, so a lot of these homeless people are veterans. Yeah, a lot of them were in the armed forces, and they're just discarded on the street. You know, where is the effort to house them? But we find billions of dollars to send all over the world. So other people in other countries will not be homeless and will be fed and will be taken care of. What about the people here? What about the veterans here? What about them? Why isn't that much effort being put into them? I don't know. I don't understand the backward thinking, to be honest with you all. I do not understand the backward thinking because I would think that you take care of your house first before you go to take care of somebody else's. But I guess it's that they want the praise. They want to be patted on the back. They want other people to say, oh, well, yes, the US came in and the US helped us and the US provided us with weapons and money and this and that, the other and the third. And that's what has brought us out of this dilemma that we were in because of the US help towards us. Yeah, I guess that's what they want. Or they have something else that they are getting quietly, secretly, and silently from these countries to whom they are giving all this money. You know, it is unbelievable, I tell you. It is unbelievable. And so I tell you guys, if you have a roof over your head, you got a lot to give thanks for. If you are not out in the cold today, you have a lot to give thanks for. Because a lot of people are not out on the street because they are worthless and no good and just want to be out. No, a lot of people are out on the street because, you know, life's unforeseen circumstances have knocked them to the ground. You know, a lot of people from COVID, a lot of people have not yet recovered. COVID came about. COVID came about around this same time in 2020. So it's been 4 years since COVID came about. And COVID ravaged communities. COVID ravaged people's lives. Some people only went back to work in 2023. By the time they went back to work, they were drowning in debt. They were drowning in debt. They were, you know, they had mental issues from having been locked away in their homes for 2 years. A lot of people emerged from COVID worse than they went in. Yeah, because imagine you come out of COVID, and when you come out of COVID, you have to pay now. Before COVID, you could afford your rent, and when COVID it was declared over, your rent gone up double the price. Your rent has been increased by 100%. You haven't, you weren't working for the 2 years. Now you gotta find money to pay twice the amount of rent. People get frustrated. So a lot of people end up being homeless because they're like, it's not worth it. What kind of job am I gonna have to pay $3,000 a month for mortgage? I cannot afford it. And then I have to buy food and I have to buy, you know, clothes because I put on a lot of weight during COVID when I was home doing nothing. And I have the children to feed and I have light. Light is gone up, water is gone. People just give up. People just be like, you know what? I'm just through with this, you know. I have an SUV. I have an SUV and I'm going to convert it into a house. I'm going to convert it and that's where I'm going to live. I'm going to go to Walmart or a Burger King, wherever, and wash up, get me a wash up daily. And then after that, I'm just going to live in my car, drive my car to work and stuff. People have to make tough choices. People have had to make very tough choices. I see people use all the money they save to buy an RV, start living in the RV. As if people use, drop off their kids with their grandparents to say, keep the kids for me until I get back on my feet. And them and their dog go to live in a van, go to live in a car, you know. They drive around and do social media content, and that's how they survive, or something, you know, write for Fiverr or do some kind of freelance work just so that they can have a little bit of money. But it is, I mean, life does kick us down sometimes. So when you can't be so high and mighty where you are like, oh well, you have. So because you have, to hell with the people who don't have. No, you gotta still care for others. We still gotta still care for the people around. And look at that. The water on the road is frozen. Okay, the water on the street is frozen. But the funny thing, everything, all the water is frozen, but there is no snow, which is good because I don't like the snow. And the time is changing because see, the sun is coming up. See, it's 7:48 and the sun is up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it is still 16 degrees. Ain't that something? Nature is really phenomenal, I tell you. Nature is really something else. There's ice on the street, but the sun is shining in the sky. Yeah. So so I tell you guys, we just have to look out for each other and be kind to each other because without the kindness, without our kindness from one to the other, we are just a waste of space living. Just a waste of space living if we are not living to be kind to each other. Okay? So, anyway, I'm home. So, we are going to talk again later or tomorrow. You and I will have some other conversation. But for right now, guys, I'm gonna hightail and go get me later. And here my phone already starts blocking you out. All right, guys. So see you all later. Have yourselves a great day, guys. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevestons, where your journey matters. We'll talk later, guys.